Sorry. Okay, Xander, you're on.
In the words of Louis Van Leer, may we light this chalice on this morning of a new year, letting go of what has been, open and hopeful for what may come, renewed, restored, ready to live life fully anew. May we move forward with this intention.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to Vashon Island Unitarian Fellowship. As we settle in, we are finding the balance of being and listening, sharing and singing. Let's find our voice by repeating after me. If you're on Zoom, please unmute yourself. It is good.
It is good.
It is good to be here.
It is good to be here.
It is good to be here with you.
It's good to be here with you.
You can hear Melvin there. That's great. Thank you, everyone. Now those on Zoom, if you could please mute yourself again. And a couple of other reminders, please turn off your cell phones. And we're going to be doing an exercise today. We're using the hymnals as kind of a backing to write on. So if you don't have a hymnal and you want to move forward to where there's a hymnal or you want to get one, please do so, because we're going to be want to be ready for that. Okay. let people adjust a minute here. Okay. Okay. Well, my name is Sheila Ekman, and I'll be your service leader today as we welcome in the new year. We are a lay-led community, and that means that we're strengthened and enriched by weaving together the cherished work of volunteers who contribute their time and energy to the running of our fellowship. Thank you to everyone who participates in our beloved community. Important values we hold close are individual freedom of belief and diversity, hospitality, and social justice. We seek to promote a sense of community meant to enrich your spirit. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your beliefs, whomever you love, and however bumpy your life's journey, know that you're welcome here. We are clear in our desire to acknowledge that we are on the traditional homeland of the Squamish Coast Salish Native people. The Puyallup and Muckleshoot people have lived on and stewarded these lands since the beginning of time and continue to do so today. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is one small step toward true allyship, and we commit to uplifting the voices, experiences, and histories of the Indigenous people of this land and beyond. We are choosing to begin our worship service year by finding our own inner light and letting it shine. We will be illuminating our own wisdom. Our technical support is being provided by Catherine Sullivan, and we are honored to enjoy the music of Xander this morning. Welcome, Xander. We thank each person who has contributed to this service. Each of us is uplifted by your contributions. We're meeting in a hybrid fashion. While most of us are in Lewis Hall in person, other members of our beloved community are with us on Zoom. The chat function in Zoom will be turned on only during joys and concerns, and it will be closed at all other times. Those on Zoom can still reach out to Catherine through the chat if you have any technical issues. Now, please settle in, put your feet on the floor, take a deep breath. I invite you to set aside your thoughts and experiences of all that happened before you arrived this morning and allow yourself to settle in, to be present in this moment in fellowship. Let's share a moment of silence. Now Xander is going to give us some more of his wonderful music.
We bid you welcome on this first Sunday of the new year. Like Janice, we gather with part of us looking backward and part of us looking forward. We gather at this edge of a new year, saddened by our losses, cherishing our joys, aware of our failures, mindful of days gone by. We gather on the cusp of this new year, eager to begin anew, hopeful of what lays ahead, promising to make changes, anticipating tomorrows and tomorrows. We invite you to join in our celebration of life, knowing that life includes the good and the bad, endings and beginnings. We bid you welcome. And that reading is by Sylvia.
We use themes for each month as part of the UUA so that the congregation will have concepts in common as we go through our spiritual journey. In January, we are finding our center. Rather than hearing a sermon, Julie Shannon is going to lead us and share some ways for us to find and share our wisdom from within and use it as a focus throughout the year. Greetings. Greetings.
It's kind of funny because as I got this activity together for us, I began thinking, is this going to be successful? Is this going to work? And all I know is what I have from within. And what I do know is that each of you has kernels of wisdom. And some of them grew out of your life experiences. Some of them grew from little seeds that were planted or that you picked up along the way, those little volunteers that kind of cling to your clothes or whatever, the constant themes that come back to you in your life. We've all shared some common themes these past few years, but everyone has their own wisdom that they gathered and took from it and are growing quietly in their own personal greenhouses as we all kind of go to our corners with a potential new surge of sickness and whatnot. But there's wisdom inside each of us. And as I was kind of figuring out how to work the can opener to get it out of everybody, out of myself, where it's been pent up, I began coming up with sort of school teacher tricks, We'll do an exercise and magically 1, 2, 3, we follow the directions and we've got our answers, right? Everybody's going to have shining examples, mirrors of wisdom that they will put out into the world. And that may or may not happen today. But what I urge you to do is to think about the wisdom that's being shared here, that we all carry with us truth, that we all share those ideas, those truths, and they become increasingly real in the world when we pay attention to them. And today, I'm asking you to pay attention to wisdom in the world. Perhaps it's unique to you. Perhaps it's something that came to you that's precious and that you'd like to coax out into the world. Perhaps it's something you've heard before. There's lots of ways that wisdom comes. Sometimes it comes through the sound of musical meandering. Sometimes it's in the silence, sometimes it's in the wind, sometimes it's an image. And if Catherine can bring up the slideshow. Oh, well, I'll talk while she gets it together. I did gather a few slides, and they were taken from several ideas. How many of you have heard of a vision board? Okay. Vision boards were always hard for me because it was very random what you ran into. But collage works for some people. And so if it works for you, know that in the future, you could go in and embellish what we're going to do today with pieces of collage, things like that. But I took my inspiration from 2 books that I have right here. And their covers will be illuminated on the screen here. And I pick a word for the year that leads me, that guides me throughout or more. I've got a long list, words like grace or bold or present. They just, it's a one word that I can use to focus. And this year, my word happens to be illuminate. And I'm not sure if it came because I was ruminating on these books that I had found in my stash. And it just became obvious that I need more light in my life. Not just the light of summertime or the sunshine, but listening to people's truths that help me to illuminate my own dark corners. Listening to my own truths that do shine out and giving them time and space. So illuminate, this is a style of art and we have seen it. If you keep going, the next slide. This is the definition of illuminate. It's to cast light on it, to light up. Hang on, I'm having a hard time reading here. Here we go. It's clarify or to explain. It's also to decorate a page or a letter in a manuscript by hand with gold or silver or colored design. So if we keep going to the next slide, these books give us an idea. These are from Pinterest, the first two, and they're illuminated text where we take even a single letter and we add focus and we imbue the words with artistic love and intention and the colors and themes. You might think back to like the Book of Kells. There's a lot of Christian examples. And if you go on further, what matters is illuminating your wisdom. That's what matters here. And if we keep on going, this is the first book. And they do a lot of things with phrases here. It's words of wisdom, works of art. And if you'd like to look at the book more closely, it does exist up here. And if you keep on going to the next slide, this was the first one that just hit me. Be happy, for this moment is your life. And we keep on going. And you can see there's many different ways that they chose to illuminate important phrases, thoughts, sayings. These are from people who had great things to say and they've been passed on so that it would be familiar as you read it. But perhaps your truths also ring familiar. Perhaps it's something your grandmother said. The Jewish tradition also has begun to pay attention to illumination. This is Yerushalayim, which is Jerusalem, and this book is also here. The reason I bring this forth is because it has a nice sort of progression. If you go to the next slide, a single letter has great meaning. The shin, which you see on the dreidel, is like the sound of Hashem, the name, which is what people call God sometimes because we cannot know his real name, their real name, its real name. So the shin comes up. So that's an example of a single letter that somebody was focusing on. And you go further, you get a whole word, shalom, peace, hello, goodbye, shalom. And then finally, you get a phrase, ani dodi vidodi li. And that is my beloved is mine, often on like rings for weddings or marriage certificates. And this is the complete set of slides that I have. And what I have up here is paper, pens, crayons, colored pencils, etc. And I'd like to maybe get one other person to help, Jill or somebody to help get paper to everybody. And if nothing else, sit quietly and find yourself a word. If you can, maybe a phrase. Maybe it's just the first letter of somebody you really want to invoke in your life. Maybe it's an image and the words will come later. Whatever it is, I invite you to take the next 10 minutes to a quarter after or 17 after, when the room sort of feels full. Xander's going to play some quiet music while we do this exercise. Mine your own wisdom. And if you don't feel like you have any, start listing songs or images that you want to go to in the future, where you might find places where you might find your wisdom. Whatever works for you to tap into something that is all yours, that you can focus on to bring you into this moment. And how was that? Did it feel scary at first? Did you feel put on the spot? Sometimes I do. And sometimes facing that blank page is different. And this is something that can be repeated. It can be repeated at the end of the day. It can be welcome your dreams in. And if by chance you struck gold and you got something that you can use for the whole year, that's awesome. That's lucky. It's also it's a gift. And so I know that art isn't everybody's medium. Sometimes it's reading. Sometimes it's simply underlining when you find some wisdom. And if you haven't done it, there's a number of people in this room, I'm sure, who have books that contain bits and pieces of wisdom, even if it's books of quotes or readings. Did anybody come to anything that they'd like to share? Something that we talk away into the top.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, my Be a pioneer. I have the pioneer diary from my ancestors and some mothers, home and follow was like. And I just admire that they built their own wagon train, that they started their own house, and they walked all the way from in the wagon train. And that was just for their belongings was running in the wagon and stuff. So anyway, be bold, take chances, just be out there, believe in yourself, just do it.
Yeah.
I love the color. I love the color in Jordan's house. Right there. I love the color. So I started out with nice sort of aphorisms that came naturally, like appreciate, be patient, be patient, asterisk with yourself, calm. I did the ABC thing, but then it came up and it was there. D-A-R-E, and that became sort of bold across the thing. And I didn't expect that.
Wow.
Isn't that wonderful?
When all of a sudden something becomes so clear, I search all year for my word, and I don't really let myself pick it unless it knocks me over the head and practically causes me to pass out. And then illuminate just was so obvious. There. And I like it. It's a 4-letter word.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Hi, so mine is create. And over Christmas, I started sewing mittens, and I made like 15 of them. Because, I just don't do anything halfway. But it was really a good experience because I paid attention to myself. And, there's those voices like, the right color. Oh, that's perfect. Will they like it? There's all those self-doubt where you kind of get into it. You're like, it is what it is. It's made out of Granny Daddock's perfect sweater. And I also started experimenting with herbal and fruit infusions to have an alternative to alcohol. A lot of people really drink themselves quite sick over the pandemic, and so I just sort of went back to my herbalist roots, and that has just been incredibly joyful and creative. And you try stuff and you're like, and then it turns out wonderful. And you think, oh, I forgot how good this is. So there you go. Trying new things, listening to the inner voice, create that.
One of my favorite movies has a character that makes predictions about what is going to happen. And part of what she says when she's asked, how does she know? She says, I read the signs. So this has R's and EAD and in between. I think one of the most important, and they're all interconnected. And I think one of the most important things that we can do with our lives is to read the signs, whatever they are, just to read the signs. And then maybe do some of these other words.
The gifts just keep coming.
Julie?
Yes. Oh, we've got another one.
Yeah,
jumped out at me, trying to come up with a word or phrase. First, I came up with the word acceptance. That's how I want to live my life between the year and throughout. And recovery programs, and there's a slogan. One of them, probably maybe all of them, but it's awareness, the 3A, awareness, acceptance, and action. And when I'm here, I'm in the present, and I can live life more full. Action means I have some control, but acceptance, sometimes I don't. And I have to accept what is, and it all stems from being present. Oh, and I did this, the dark color straw. I tried to do this a little flowery.
There's so much wisdom, even from font face. I want to both acknowledge those who've chosen to share and those who have not. I want to remind you that if this was not a fruitful exercise for you, it's okay, accept that. Perhaps there's other times and places and ways that you will find your own inner wisdom. But my wish for all of you, for all of us, is to find that wisdom, to be in it, to share it, to honor it. And may you have a blessed, blessed new year, each of you and in our beloved community.
So Xander is going to play some meditative music for us. And let's just take a moment to silently reflect on this wisdom that Julie has helped us through, and all that is yet to be illuminated. As a caring community, we set aside time to share the joys and concerns of our lives by speaking briefly from the heart. This is a time to honor the common humanity and sacred spirit within each of us. If you are online and would like to share a joy or concern, please put it in this chat to Catherine, and she will share it with us. For those of you here in Lewis Hall, please come forward, light a candle, and share with us. You're welcome to light a silent candle. If you don't know, if you have a hymnal for the inside cover. There is a love for me. There is a love for no. There is a love holding on. We rest in this love. There is a love holding on. There is a love holding on. There is a love holding on. We rest in this love. As members and friends of Vashon Island Unitarian Fellowship, we commit to supporting our fellowship. Financial resources help us pay speakers and staff and to maintain our building lease. Please support VIUF by sending your pledges and offerings to the address that will be shown on the screen, or go to VIUF to donate online. We engage beyond our walls for peace, social and economic justice, freedom of belief, protection of the planet and its inhabitants. We've traditionally committed to contributing a fourth of our offerings to community organizations that align with our values. This month, we are contemplating the theme of finding our center. Today, we are contributing our offering to our own beloved community, as it is a place that helps us find our center. So let's sing together. Again, a cappella, we give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. We're all gathered here and those far away. For this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. We have come full circle and are beginning a new year from our own center with a sense of belonging. We have gone into darkness and are kindling our connection to our wisdom within. As the light grows, we will work to illuminate the dark corners and bring truth to the world. May this be a full and productive year one where we are active in our lives, living the principles of Unitarian Universalism, honoring the inherent worth and dignity of every person, seeking justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, accepting one another and encouraging spiritual growth in our fellowship, conducting a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, exercising the right of conscience and using the democratic process within our fellowship and society at large, working to attain the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and respecting the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Many thanks to Xander for the wonderful music today. Woo! Let's give him a... And to Julie for the wonderful exercise she led us through. Jessica and Rick for contributing, and Catherine for the tech support as always, and Julie, Robbie, Kim, and Jessica for planning. We really appreciate everyone involved. Is there another closing reading?
Yes.
Yes. That's you, Jessica. Okay.
This is As the New Year Begins by Kate Lohr. Great Spirit of Life. As the new year begins, we turn inward to reflect on the state of our lives. What lessons have we learned this past year, and what new ones call us forward? To whom do we still owe apology or thanks? With whom must we draw fresh boundaries? As we pause from our regular rhythms of life, the rush, 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 we open ourselves to new perspectives and possibilities, and we give thanks for these moments and the wisdom they afford us. May they help us bring us together in the sacred dynamics of life so that we as individuals and members of a community might reach our full potential. And as we step across this threshold, let the new year, let this be a new year of greater awe and gratitude, of deeper kindness and acceptance, and more outrageous acts of commitment.
Yeah.
For a kinder and more equitable and sustainable world is not only possible, she is on her way. And in this quiet community, we can ever hear her breathing. Amen.
Words by Deborah Burrell. We have basked in the warmth and beauty of this flame and this community on this New Year's Day. As the chalice flame is extinguished, let us carry its glow within, and let us kindle its sparks within and beyond the year to come.
So Xander's going to play for us This Little Light of Mine, and if you know the words, you are welcome to sing along. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it
Thank you. So this concludes our service, but it is the first Sunday of the month, and you all know what that is. Birthday month. So January. I happen to have a January birthday, so join me up here if you have a January birthday.
The highlight of the year. Oh, it's gonna be yellow, yellow this year. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Art. Happy birthday to all.
The New Year's baby.
No.
whoa.
Yeah. So thank you. Now's the time for announcements. If you have announcements about events sponsored by the fellowship, you can raise your hands to share both in this room and on Zoom, but I'd ask you to use the microphone. You have one?
I invite you all to the service on the 8th. We're going to hear from Ken St. Clair, talk about his experience growing up Black and how he can deal with racism in the fellowship and beyond.
So Tanya is single now as of today. And it's time for us and the extended community, wherever you are, to think about how we can support Tanya, who is without wheels other than these two, and has some stuff that she needs to have happen. So I have a startup of a sign-up sheet that I'll tell you about. First of all, since she lives in outer Dr. Mongolia, she has a worker who offers to take her into town. And so if you wanted to meet Tanya for lunch, or for coffee, or for an activity, you could do that. And Annie would take her, and then you could take her home.
Yeah.
So that's one idea. Another would be to invite Tanya to any cultural event on the island and take her. Going to dinner, bringing dinner to her and spending the evening, or just taking a walk with Tanya. That would be a short walk. She has 2 doctor's appointments to work with her hand coming up on the 10th and on the 19th. So those are just some ideas, and it takes a village, and here we are. So this is a startup, and I will leave this in the back, I think on the red table, if you want to take a look at it and maybe put your name on it. Otherwise, I may send something out. I'm not quite sure how to facilitate this, but check in with me if you want some ideas. Thank you.
just wanted to give you an update about where we are with Victoria Pulling. This coming week, she'll be signing a contract and she'll be going through the background check and fingerprinting that's required by our bylaws. And so I really look forward to that. So she'll be on island hopefully this week to sign that contract and so on. And when I know her specific date, I'll kind of send out, or Runa will send out an email blast, and maybe she'll be up for meeting people for coffee, I'm not sure. So there's that part. If you want to go dipping today to celebrate the new year down at KVI, I checked out the beach and it looks lovely. And if you've not done that before, please meet me afterwards and I'll tell you what kind of clothes you need for that.
Or is it optional?
Oh, you mean clothing? No, it's not a birthday suit. It's just.
I realize this isn't a specific UU event, but it's close enough. Xander, before he leaves, he's going to be doing a concert with a friend of his from Manhattan School of Music at the Royal Room. It's on January 4th, at 7 p.m. His friend Jonah Garfield, he's a jazz trumpeter, and he has new music that he's doing. Xander is one of the 5 people that will be playing and will be accompanying. So if you want to come, get tickets online. It's a small venue in case you haven't seen it. It's in Columbia City. Okay. But it should be great. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Anybody else, any other, no? Okay, let's join together singing Go Now in Peace. Stand up if you can.
Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Yay. Happy New Year.
Unusual to have service on